Weapon balance changes are now coming again in Once Human, this time being a huge buff for the Corrosion, and the most affected weapon in the next patch will be Corrosion. It's getting a trigger chance boost from 70% old value to 80%, 10% gain. That already is huge, which if you combine some other mods, you could be literally getting 100% trigger chance. Power surges that can crit have been changed from 15% crit to 25% crit. So if you have enough crit rate, the surges can just always crit. That's a really nice change as well. Power surge crit damage has been changed from 15% to 40% and gaining 25% more damage per stack. And the stack duration has been changed from 6 seconds to 8 seconds, which means it will last longer. And the best of it all is that you don't need to trigger Power Surge 10 times to get these stacks. You now only need to trigger Power Surge 5 times to get 5 stacks, which is actually such a massive damage increase. Honestly, this is like huge for this gun. These buffs are just extremely massive, so can't wait to get my hands on the Corrosion after the update. The gas mask hood gets a new feature. The gas mask now will give you 15% power surge damage bonus or shock elemental, whatever it is, we will see in game once the patch hits. And then the effect duration has been changed from 3 seconds to 6 seconds. So whenever you trigger power surge, you get 35% crit rate for 6 seconds, which is insane. Hopping to conflicting memories, this gun gets a shrapnel damage against metas nerf by 10%, so you'll just deal 10% less damage in PvP. It's getting a magazine size buff, so you will need less mag size to get shrapnel parts increased. -7, that is. Then we have shrapnel parts. Instead of getting 5 shrapnel parts, you will now get 6, which in total is going to add extra 2 shrapnel parts, really, because that's how the cage element works. So in total, we'll get 12. The rest of the stats are not changed. We have Pyrolasm next, Dragon's Breath. Before, when you get the Dragon's Breath ammo, once you reload your Pyrolasm, the Dragon Breath disappears and then you have to recollect all the orbs and reload the gun again. Now, when you swap guns, it will stay, which is a huge change for the Pyrolasm, and honestly I think more people are going to start running this gun again, because that was the main problem of this gun before. Although the gun is still kind of a little bit underwhelming when it comes to range and long range fights, so that's the sad part about shotguns, but hey. Then we have Jaws. It's getting a buff of elemental blast damage from 30% to 50% when you shoot in the weak spot. When you hit the weak spots, you gain 30% damage increase from Jaws. But now, instead of 30, you will be getting 50, so that's a 20% increase. Honestly, this is not really needed for Jaws, especially in PvP. This just gun becomes even stronger in PvP. I don't even know why they're buffing it again, but I guess maybe for PvE it's needed. For PvE, it's a different story. This gun is not that great for PvE. Honestly, for PvE, this gun needs like AoE range increase when hitting the weak spot of the mobs or something. For PvP though, this 20% change is really not needed. Players just gonna die even more faster by Jaws in PvP. It's kind of gonna be cancer. Outer space, it's getting a buff for lightning spawning, so when you hit 15 times the enemy, it will spawn a lightning. Now you will need only 12 as the new value, so -3 hits are needed less. We're also getting a pinpoint strike buff for the unstable bomber, which unstable bomber final damage is getting changed from 25%, the old one being, and the new one is going to give us 35%, giving us 10% damage increase, giving us 10% more for unstable bomber final damage. That is also pretty huge. This basically would be for gold lore, for Jaws, so any guns that benefit from pinpoint strike will be buffed, to be honest. Then we have first electrocution. Power surge ultimate's damage is gonna be changed from 30 to 35%. Then we have other meta surges. Other metas will not apply power surge status, so you'll be able to benefit from the 35% extra damage when shooting the same target if another meta is shooting him as well. So that's a nice change for PvP as well. And that's literally all the changes for the next July 17th. And that's the balance changes we're going to be getting. Now here's what the devs have to say. After the adjustment, they will continue to pay attention to the actual combat performance and the usage rate of the corresponding weapons and evaluate whether to make further adjustments in response to the poor combat performance of Money Rain and Gazing into the Abyss. These are Abyss Glance and the Raining Cash shotgun, which were frequently reported by metas we plan to rework and reloading and bolt pulling experience in subsequent updates. The weapon is definitely need a rework because it's very underwhelming in PvE. I'm gonna be honest, the CC it has is very nice, but it just doesn't perform well in terms of damage. And that's about it for the patch notes. Really, I will leave these patch notes in the comment section. Funny enough, it says here the overtakers can now ride on the back of other overtakers' motorcycles, and a separate ride button has been added to facilitate more precise interaction. Go racing with your friends. This is like, kind of like, this just makes me think, is this like loot crates? Or I don't understand, is this like loot crate mechanic that if you spend on a skin for a bike you get to ride with your friends, or this is in general for all bikes? Hopefully it's for all bikes, because that would be stupid and literally pay to win. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching. As always, I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care and peace out.